This is Cybert signing into Kane's Wrath on the map. Pipeline problems for a King of the Hill. And featuring one of the players competing in this King of the Hill in the north. This is the Purple Traveler 59. This is Rex.
And on the south side of Pipeline Problems as the Cyan Blackhand, it is Futurama.
Welcome, welcome, Dune Tiger. How excited are you for a 12-game King of the Hill?
Yeah, well, I've made sure I had a nice big drink ready for me by my side, because this could be a long stint here. But I'm very excited with these three players.
And who is our third player?
It is the Drive Russian.
So we have Futurama and Drive, who are a classic Kane's Wrath duo. And then we have the new hot kid on the block, Rex, who has been showing up out of nowhere, kind of, and impressing everyone with their play. And just like, Rex has had a good run in the last 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. And so we're coming now into a sponsored King of the Hill show match with Rex, Futurama, and Drive. Couple of descents poking in. I assume Futurama will be able to deal with this, but the first buggy is going to go down. Harvesters might get harassed, but I don't expect Futurama to lose anything here.
You gotta be careful, though. This actually could be close, but the Cabals will clean it up. Yeah,
second squad! Okay, never mind.
Oh my god, but he forced off a sell of a refinery. I mean, he's probably going to sell that refinery anyway, but now Futurama is down to 1 ref. He's actually kept his stasis chamber around 2, which is interesting from Rex. Maybe he was expecting a flame rush out of Futurama, so he could have gone for fast cultist, but now he's just kept it for no reason, it feels like.
A bit of an awkward start, but by the way, I do want to mention $8 per win. So the winner stays on. $96 is up for grabs in total. And if you win all 12 games, well, then you would get the $96. But we will see. Between these three players, they'll sort of be rotating between who is playing. And we'll see. Hopefully, we get to see a good amount of all three of them. But maybe it'll be a story of domination.
If I mean, obviously, we hope not. That would be... I mean, it would be fantastic for that player. They'd be absolutely fist-pumping. But for the entertainment factor, we want to see a bit of rotation. And don't underestimate Rex, by the way. I mean, we know Futurama and Drive, and we know how good they are. But Rex, especially with his screen factions, he's a powerhouse. Don't underestimate him.
So we were just talking about this before we actually started casting, but Dune Tiger, you were actually playing Rex in a kind of an unofficial series of games. And then you said you were trading pretty evenly versus his random, but as soon as he switched over to Traveler 59, which is sort of his powerhouse faction, you started losing more consistently.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a... his Nod and his GDI aren't weak, but they are weaker. His Traveler and his Screen are extremely strong, and especially R19 had that change to the Storm column. Which made Firehawks a little less oppressive versus Skrins, which has also given them that little extra boost. And yeah, it's a tough matchup, Rex's Skrin. So it'll be interesting to see how he competes with Futurama and Drive.
I'm curious to see if he only plays Traveler 59 in this matchup, and if so, you kind of made some comparisons with Leaf from like the old days. And most players are playing Black Hand or GDI, and Leaf was the one guy who's willing to play those Skrin factions, namely Traveler 59. So maybe this will be a bit of return to that. We'll get a good old classic Black Hand, GDI, Traveler 59 matchup. But a relatively passive opening from both players. We had a bit of excitement with our descents in the beginning of the game, and then it's just been eco. We got multi-MCV coming out from Futurama. They're both trending towards their third bases. Other than scouting units, it's cooled off considerably.
Yeah, it has, and we do see a Tier 3 has come down for Rex, so he has got to that Tier 3 early, and a Tier 3 down for Futurama as well. And I think multi-MCV here is a really good choice, because obviously Traveler 59 has that Prodigy, and we know that Prodigies love to cap MCVs, so if you have 2 of them, you give yourself a little bit of a extra bit of insurance there.
Gravity Stabilizer is now out for Rex, so if he wants to multi-MCV, he can as well. Or it could just be for Devastator Warships as we trend towards the middle of the map as well. Of course, Pipeline Problems is one of those maps that sort of forces you at your third base towards your opponent. Flame Tank on the left side does get called away. There's a couple of Seeker Tanks gunning down the left corridor of the map, and that will deny that Flame Tank from moving in. But on the right side, a Prodigy is approaching. There's a Commando as well. We actually have both Commandos on the map at the same time.
I was going to say, he's got to be careful with that Prodigy. The Black Hand Commando being heroic, I thought it would one-shot the Prodigy. I'm not sure. I've never seen that interaction before, so... But the Prodigy will definitely not win. I know that for sure.
Scorpion tanks coming in to defend over on the left side of the base. We've got a couple of Seeker tanks that made their way all the way in, but not much more than that. The Commando is still chasing the Prodigy over on the right side of the map. There is a drone ship moving over as well, so Futurama does have the intel on the exact timing of Rex's expansion.
Oh, the Mantis! Oh, he teleports it.
Right at the end there. That was a good save by Rex.
That's a deadly combo. He had the Commando sitting on the floor so he couldn't deploy, and then the Mantis to try and come in, but a good teleport does save that.
Commando now trying to trade out against the Gunwalker.
He gets the Prodigy.
He gets the Prodigy, so you weren't right about the one-shot, but you were right that it is almost instant. That was 2 shots from the Commando to eliminate that Prodigy. Flame Tank is going to try and sneak in on the left side. Might be able to get the Stasis Chamber, which would be a nice get, but any kind of tech after that would be even better. Refinery taking a bit of damage. Warp Chasm is nearby as well. Stasis Chamber gets eliminated, and Rex, not watching his back door, is now trying to fight it off with Devastator Warships. Blocks with the power plant, and the Tier 3 will go down. The Eradicator Hexapod gets stopped. The Warp Chasm gets shut down. The EMP comes in, and that Flame Tank was worth so much to Futurama. That was an insane Flame Tank.
That Flame Tank was so insane, it actually went heroic just before it died, so that shows how much damage that's just done. And now this ground force on the right-hand side, even bringing the MCV with him, knowing that there's no threat of a Prodigy, another Black Hand Commando as well, accompanying this army. And it looks like Rex is in a lot of trouble here.
He was trying to split down the left side of the map, and that sort of left his army at this awkward angle. He's trying to come in from the side. There's a Redeemer here. The MCV is still on the move. There's plenty of rocket squads as well, even a couple of Mantises. Devastator Warships do land a couple of shots. The assault at the front door of Rex has kind of let off as Rex is getting torn apart. Mantises chasing down Devastator Warships. Only one tripod versus the Redeemer. The GG gets called, and Futurama is our first victor.
And now that means he will play Drive in the second game, and Rex will be locked in the observer spot for the next game.
And we'll see, maybe Rex can come back in game number 3. He can kind of redeem himself, but Futurama ahead on income that entire game, despite those descents disrupting his blue Tiberium a little bit early. He was just ahead the whole time, and then catching all of that tech with the Flame Tank was such an amazing game-winning move. And that takes us to Tournament Decision No Poker, but the new R19 variant of it staying in this game as the Cyan Marked of Kane. This is Futurama.
And his new challenger in the bottom left as the green GDI, it is Drive. So as Cybert said, it's a bit of a different version in the R19. They've brought back the second spike, but it's actually in a much safer position than it used to be, tucked up against the side of the map. And both players will be able to get that spike relatively risk-free. I mean, maybe a screen buzzer could get there, but there's no screen in this game, so we don't have to worry about that.
That would definitely be a bit of a rush. I didn't even know that there was a new variant. Dune Tiger is the one who pointed it out to me before this game got started. But also, we spent that whole last game kind of hyping up Rex. And unfortunately, he had a poor Game 1 performance, but not too worried if you're a Rex fan. We have 12 games in this series, so we'll be seeing Rex either against Drive or against Futurama in a moment, and then several more times throughout this day. So even though he had a poor performance in game number 1, we still have lots of a hope to see him take a game off of one of these two. And Drive and Futurama, we've been watching these guys 1v1, team up, do any kind of game versus and with each other for the last couple of years. EMP catches the Harvester, catches both Harvesters. Always annoying when this happens. Of course, it isn't that big of a deal. It doesn't necessarily win you the game, but EMP does catch those Harvesters as the scouting APC heads out.
Yeah, so this is sort of become the staple of the 1v1 scene, is this rivalry almost between Futurama and Drive. So it's always exciting to see these two play. They bring out incredible games, and well, we're gonna see quite a bit of them today. So you can be excited for that. Buggy is going to clean up that rifle scout, so he didn't actually send that APC in, but we are seeing Pitbulls come out now, so maybe trying to deny that Buggy.
The back and forth between Drive and Futurama always seems to be about 50-50, at least in random games. Maybe in tournaments the results are a little bit different, but in this particular case, I expect these guys are going to be feeling very confident versus each other, feeling very comfortable versus each other. 3 refineries up and running, and the Scorpion tanks now coming out from Futurama. He hasn't landed any defensive EMPs, but I'm sure we'll have a couple more of them to see. Oh, perfect refinery placement on the side of Drive. His refineries are so nice and wide and spread apart.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you need to do versus an odd faction on this map. It can actually be hard to do sometimes. If you misplace your war factory, you can actually force yourself to have to place 2 refs next to each other. And obviously we know that can be catastrophic fighting against the 1 clicks of Nod, but Drive has done a really good job there, spreading them out like that.
He's completely prepped. We go to Tier 2 over on the Futurama side of the map. Radar jamming missile fires off. Going to be glitching out the game for just a moment there, and Pitbull's going to be trading against Scorpion tanks at the front. Futurama only sends 2 Scorpion tanks. This is not like some kind of huge commitment attack from Futurama. He's gonna...
That was a bit of a lackluster attack. Wait, why is there a Harvester there? That must be a decoy. Yeah, it's a scouting decoy stealth Harvester, okay, but he's going to see that there is a Hammerhead transition coming from Drive, so this stealth Harvester... Decoy, yeah, it's a decoy Harvester, okay. I was going to say, surely he hasn't made that mistake, but yeah, he is going to see the Hammerhead transition, but Drive is also going to move out with these Pitbulls.
A perfect scout there by Futurama. EMP catches 2 Pitbulls back at the front of Futurama's base. He should have enough Scorpions. Okay, there's going to be the Obelisk just to help pop that. Orca Strike does get called in on the refinery in the south. And it's Tier 3 on 1 base, which isn't too much of a surprise for tournament decision. 2 airfields down to just 1 airfield on the Drive side of the map, but he is just doing GDI things as he hunts for Harvesters. Scorpion tank takes a couple of shots, Harvesters taking a couple of hits as well, and Venoms are going to be the choice of the response, I suspect.
Well, this entire play from Drive has been shut down, and it's actually slowed down his Tier 3 quite considerably. He still hasn't reached his Tier 3 yet. In the meantime, Futurama's about to... I suspect it would be Tibcore, and he's got 3 stealth tanks. Yeah, Tibcore has done 3 stealth tanks. That's pretty hard to deal with when you only have no... We have no tech, you have no infantry. Second MCV is out now for Drive, but... Yeah, the 1-clicks are here as well. So the Venom comes in for the scout. We'll see a Catalyst come off any second now. There it is. And now he'll probably pick off those 2 Harvesters with the stealth tanks.
And the stealths were spotted for just a moment in the middle of the map, but I don't think that Drive was actually looking right there to see them, so his response is maybe a little bit late. He was not able to catch the stealth tanks at the door. 3 Harvesters will pay the price, and that stealth tank will escape. Drive feeling the heat. Futurama is on fire today, and he is bringing the burns, but 2 more Vertigos are stepping out. Futurama is looking for a little bit more.
It's a bold choice, but I like it. He's going to get a Harvester here. Yeah. Oh no, he split his fire. Oh, he thought he could get both, and he ended up getting none. He's going to lose a Vertigo on the retreat as well. Oh, that was actually... I mean, it looked like it was going to be a perfect attack, and it just didn't quite work for Futurama. More is done as well.
That one Harvester had so little HP. You can definitely understand him making that misplay, but both Harvesters off the line. There are a couple of stealth tanks potentially moving in on the left side once again. Both tip spikes being taken down, so Drive has found what advantage he can by killing off tip spikes, but I don't think it's a match for the sheer number of Harvesters that Futurama is killing on the left side of the map. Oh, man.
Yeah, and all of his Harvesters are off the line. He's currently got... Oh, he's actually got 3 Harvesters at the expansion. Wow. He's built a lot of Harvesters this game, considering how many he's lost. Attacking stealth tanks with hammerheads is never a good idea. That's never a matchup you want as the GDI player. But the stealth tank will get cleaned up now. Oh, big tip vein! Big tip vein! Hits all of the Pitbulls and all of the Harvesters. So if there are more stealth tanks, all of those Harvesters at 50% HP or less.
Sheesh. Futurama feeling like he is in total control this game. He hasn't gone for a fast Redeemer, but he has gone for just about everything else in the Nod arsenal. Marv is on the way, about halfway done, but there is, well, there's a lot of stuff to delay this, and those stealth techs just crush through that Reclamator hub.
And there we go. Well, Drive's been defeated. Wow.
GG. Futurama on a hot streak. Collects another $8, and we will now see the rematch, Futurama versus Rex. And that takes us to Tournament Highlands. Try as you might, we just can't get away from this map. We got to see pipeline problems, we got to see decision, and now we're back to Highlands for game number 3. It features the red screen player on the left side. This is Rex.
And on the right-hand side, he's a man with back-to-back wins. Can he get 3 in a row? He is Cyan, he is Marked of Kane. It is Futurama with 2 full Awakened squads. That is an expensive opening right there.
Ooh, on the north side of the map, he wants to be guaranteed that he gets the scout. I don't know, is he worried about descents? Why would he possibly be going for this heavy of a scout?
I mean, Awakened squads are really good first disintegrators, and I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can use them to EMP things, so even though there are no descents, he can just annoy Rex with them, and I mean, you know, getting in your opponent's head is as good as anything.
There is, I think, a third member of an Awakened squad somewhere. Maybe he jumped into that building, but always the hope of a little bit of a later game EMP coming in. EMP catches the first Gunwalkers, and descents just... They do a surprising amount of damage. Every time I see descents, I go, man, they do so much damage.
Yes, and it's even worse because you get emped, and then you have to it takes longer to kill them, and then by the time you kill them, they've done all this damage. Like, he's going to have to go back and repair with that Gunwalker now. He can't just go across the map, because if one bike showed up, they'd probably kill it. It's just a complete nuisance.
Both players getting a pretty good scout on the other buzzers, running around the map for Rex. And finally, after EMPing that War Factory, Futurama's scouting Awakened squads do get cleaned up. MCVs on the move to the natural expansion for both players, and Rex is going to steal the Blue Tiberium. All right, Dune Tiger, we got Blue Tiberium being stolen. What is your take on Blue Tiberium this early?
Well, personally, I don't do it. I'm probably, like, he's gone with his 4th Harvester. I might go with my 5th if I'm feeling a bit frisky. But no, typically I don't like it because I actually, especially with the this is actually not a bad map for it, because when he places his first refinery at his second, it'll actually be really close to that blue field. So on this map, it's actually not the worst idea. But on other maps, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it because I feel like you can probably get 2 loads of green tib in the time that you get that load of blue tib. And
that is quite an early harvester transfer over to your natural expansion. But I guess it'll
exactly
end up working out. Minor skirmish on the other side of the map, but
I don't think there's any evidence that it's better one way or the other. I think it probably evens out. On this map, it's probably an advantage Rex because it is quite a short distance by the time you are coming back to that first refinery. And I mean, another thing is that if Futurama sends a harvester up there, he's going to walk away empty-handed now.
Yeah, that is always nice. Harvester is actually going back. Now, this, I don't know about that, but Rex is going to get a second load of blue Tiberium. A couple of Scorpions sharking around the map, but overall, it's been a relatively even gentleman's game. They both sort of shook hands and said, we're going to macro our hearts out, and we'll see you in the mid-game.
Yeah, so it's going to be... Is he going for a fast tier 3? Is this going to be a tier 3 for Rex?
Oh, yeah, he skips his second refinery and no double war factory.
Yeah, it's a fast tier 3.
He goes for the portal instead. So, a little bit of a variance, but I guess that blue Tiberium, you know, he's working out with that one harvester doing long-distance trips. Secret tanks on the other side of the map are scouting everything on the Futurama side. 4 secret tanks, but then a bunch of descents poking and prodding. Rex is going to just lose a bunch of descents. I'm not sure if he was hoping to catch Futurama unawares, but whatever it was, that did not get anything done.
Oh, this is really interesting. I have a feeling he's going for a wormhole here, because he's gone for the stasis chamber, and he's going for a mastermind.
Okay. You may be onto something here. He still is delaying his 4th refinery. His 2nd refinery at his natural expansion, by comparison, is so unbelievably late. A couple of dev tanks in the middle. One of them gets blinked away. The other one will be caught and killed. So Futurama does know, hey, there's a mastermind out. There is some potential shenanigans at play, and now the 2nd refinery at the natural expansion finally comes in. Futurama should have a pretty good read on exactly what his opponent does, so it's faster eco versus faster tech for these two players.
Yeah, it's a really interesting choice by Rex because he's delayed his economy, and now, I mean, look at this from Futurama. I really like this, actually. He's getting Enlightened out, and he's mixing it with beam cannons.
Huh. That is a bit of an unusual unit composition, but I do like Futurama trying something a little bit more than just bike buggy.
Enlightened with Scorp Buggy is actually quite powerful, especially when you're versus a higher tier unit, although the shields are down, and the Buzzer Swarm hits, cleans up 2 squads. Is it going to get the 3rd? Not before it fires its EMP. That tripod will go down. No, Phase!
Phase coming in for the save, as always. Scorps do back off. EMP kind of lands, but probably not the game-winning EMPs that Futurama was hoping for. Descents on the north side, going to be tagging that Tib Spike and trying to... Oh, they're going to not get it, barely! It does survive with seemingly 1 HP. Down on the south side, a couple of beam cannons poking and prodding at these Seeker tanks who are coming in, and the EMPs will land 2 of them there to clean up most of those Seekers. Tib Spike on the north side does go down, and these Seekers getting hunted. Futurama trying to establish himself in the middle. Is it enough, though?
It's going to come down... Honestly, this could just come down to how good the stasis is, because if he hits all the beam cannons... I mean, that many beam cannons, you'll melt a tripod. You'll melt the drone ship. You'll melt pretty much everything. It's going to come down to how many of those beam cannons he gets in the stasis, because the Scorpion tanks at this point, they aren't going to cut it versus this many tripods.
Tripods moving in. There's the stasis catches pretty much all of the beam cannons. A couple of them are on the outside, and the MCV now getting caught in the middle. He was hoping to have that MCV for defense, but no, it is not going to happen, and that is a, well, no, actually a couple of Enlightened are swinging through on the north side. He's going to be able to catch 3 tripods with an EMP there. Gets the repeat EMP, and now everything is out of stasis. Suddenly, things swing back into the favor of Futurama. His beam cannons start melting those tripods. One by one, they go down. It's going to be up to the Descents and the Devastator warships to try and make something happen. MCV goes down, and this is going to be a 3-0 for Futurama?
I feel like it is. I mean, it's fantastic EMPs. I mean, those EMPs have absolutely... I mean, I thought that fight was going Rex's way, but though that triple EMP, and you've got to remember, Enlightened EMPs last for a long time. Much longer than Awakened EMPs, so when they hit, your units are locked down for quite a while. He's actually going to grab a tripod here as well.
Always nice to be getting that revival tripod. Devastator warships are here. They do a huge amount of damage to the MCV. They actually managed to take it down, so that shuts down the build radius on the front line. And, oh, that wasn't a multi-MCV MCV. That was his original MCV from the very start of the game. Devastator warships still taking a couple of shots here. Tripods going to be backing up. The tech is still here. The mastermind is still here, so Rex is not done yet.
This game is definitely still in the balance. The buggies are actually getting cleaned up by the Devastator warships, because when there's 3 of them, I mean, buggies, they aren't the heaviest tank in the game, so they do get hurt by that Devastator warship cannon. And it looks like Rex is going to make a move to the main base of Futurama. More beam cannons being built. He's really committing to this beam cannon play, which is, it's fun to see, you know. We don't see it too often, but Futurama is gunning to make this work.
Buzzers all get cleaned up. A little bit less defense for this mastermind. It feels like Futurama should be able to take this. Maybe it'll come down to the EMPs. We'll see what the... Oh, the mastermind just goes for a power plant, trying to take the power offline. No base defenses, but there's no MCV to build them, and Devastator warships getting taken down. Futurama, he still has an attack to deal with at the front, so Rex is trying to split the map. It's a little bit here and a little bit there.
It's a really good choice versus this army composition that Futurama does have. These Devastator warships are all going down, but yeah, he's now converging in the middle of the map, and look at this. The beam cannons have been split up from the rest of the army. This is actually quite bad for Futurama.
Couple of buggies, couple of beams getting just torn up as they split the ridge, and unfortunately, okay, well, never mind. Rex is back on the retreat as Futurama's beam cannons burn down a tripod immediately. Our first considerable back and forth of this series. Futurama is not just totally dominating anymore. Buzzer Swarm gets called in, trying to defeat those EMPs. EMP completely whiffs as Rex just keeps trying to cycle around the map looking for another angle all the time.
He's got to try and use the terrain to his advantage. If he fights Futurama in an open field, well, an open area like the drone ship could go down here if Futurama spots that. The beam cannons will just insta-melt it.
Ooh.
Oh, he lifts up. Teleports away.
That was like just in time. The beam cannons were starting to target down that MCV, and they just weren't quite fast enough. Tripods reforming the front line. There are a couple of tripod husks that could be captured and brought to the front line for Futurama. Tripods moving in. This is so many beam cannons. Descents getting shredded by those buggies, and the beams are going to have to dodge the crush of the tripods. More and more beams getting down. Oh my gosh, does he actually have enough tripods to just crush through the army? Rex blasting through everything that the Nod has, and this Marked of Kane player is going down. GG gets called. Futurama takes his first loss, and after hyping up the Traveler 59 of Rex in game number 1, it's actually his vanilla scrin that brings him the victory in game 3.
Fantastic play by Rex there to just... I mean, that's the thing with beam cannons. They can't shoot and move, so going for that crush move is exactly what he needs to do.
I thought he barely didn't have enough tripods to get it, but no, he had plenty of tripods and more coming behind. Futurama I don't know, was it his economy flatlining as he moved past his natural expansion, but he just did not have what he needed at the end.
Losing that MCV was catastrophic as well because he didn't have a barracks, so he couldn't build any more Enlightened.
The critical misstep of no EMPs. That will send us into game number 4. And that takes us to Tournament Odyssey. For the first time, we get to see the 2 players who we have not yet seen versus each other. And the first of them is the Cyan Scrin in the north. This is Rex.
And in the bottom left corner as the red Nod Vanilla, it is Drive. He's gone for the spikes, obviously. 2 militants, so nothing too crazy. And yeah, Tournament Odyssey, probably the most popular map in the map pool, honestly. Maybe that or Highlands are the 2 most popular maps.
It used to be Tournament Rift for so long. And then it did kind of shift between Odyssey and Highlands, kind of splitting up the Tournament Rift legacy. Now, lots of people do say it's a flat, open, wide, big, expansive map. It is favoring Nod. It is favoring Bike Buggy. Where do you stand on the great Nod imbalance on this map?
I actually I've never bought into it. I've never bought into it because I actually. Versus GDI, I can see how it... Yes, I agree, but I actually think versus Scrin, I think that if you use Mechapedes and Seekers correctly, I think you can nullify the Bike Buggy quite well. But it's going to be up to Rex. We need to see how Rex plays it. And a lot of players recently have been not even going Bike Buggy versus Scrin because Scorpions just feel better than bikes. So, obviously, it's going to depend how the 2 players play it. But I've never bought into it, Mike, personally. I've never bought into that nod domination.
Wow, so we got the first hot take of the video, which is, I'm not sure about nod on big maps. Now, I do want to point out, since you mentioned Mechapedes, this is R19, I believe version G is the one that we are up to, which Master Leaf has said Mechapedes are fixed. So, if Mechapedes are in the mind for Rex, they should not cause any crashes, they should not cause any regames, which is always nice to have. And for those of you who don't know, there's always like one comment, and I'm going to say it now, but it won't matter, there'll still be someone in the comments. 1.02 Plus is a community patch version that attempts to fix and rebalance the game a little bit, to fix bugs and mistakes that were left in by the hasty development cycle. So R19 refers to the 18th release version of the patch. So there's your explanation. There will still be someone in the comments who says, "What is R19?" Oh well. But now someone might do it more for the goof than for a genuine question. So now we've muddied the waters.
Everyone's going to comment it now. Now here we go. We are going to see the Bike Buggy from Drive. So.
Right, you called out the Scorpion tags, and it's immediately Bike Buggy.
If the Bike Buggy wins the game, I'm going to have to eat my words here, aren't I? But here we go. Drive is probably going to get a Harvester. No, he's going to pull back.
He's committed quite a bit into this attack. I mean, this is a lot of bikes and a lot of buggies. There is a portal here. There are descents going to be coming onto the front line. Lightning Spike comes in as well, way on the left side. So that was kind of a deterrent. And then the Photon Cannon gets a bike on exit. But you mentioned Seekers and you mentioned Mechapedes. Rex has heard you. He says, I believe in the Seeker tank. I believe it's a good unit, and I believe it will win versus this Bike Buggy. But the pressure's not over. The Bike Buggy is cycling over to the main base. This is that big open, no terrain to slow you down. Defender's advantage will be factoring in with the repairs on the Harvesters. And these bikes are just cycling around. They are tagging every single Harvester with 1 or 2 rockets. Finally gets a Harvester kill there as he's going to dodge on out. And there are the shields coming up. This feels like a win for Rex. Am I wrong?
That was a massive win for Rex. Losing only 1 Harvester. Drive slowed down his economy for that. And, I mean... actually, their economic situation is quite similar, but that was a lot of bikes that went down for just 1 Harvester, and Shield's on for the Seeker tank now. He's probably almost done with... Oh, he's not... Where? Wow, he's still a long way from his tier 3. I thought he'd almost be done with it, but the Scorpion tank transitioned from Drive now. These Seeker tanks probably won't be able to get into the base.
They're going to back off. They're not even really going to try and poke and prod. I do like a very, very minor thing, but I do like the scouting militants that were in the 2 corners of the maps for drive, And it's like he had no real plans for them, but he just kept them in the corners. He's able to keep an eye on those edges of the map in case there's anything sneaky that's going around at the very extremities of the map, or he can do what he did right there, which is go in and bring them in to reveal a bit of that map. And he's going to kind of see the Seeker tanks on the right side, although the Flame tank on the left side gets spotted by Descent, so I guess the Scout is good for both players.
I'd actually really like to see Drive keep that militant in the top left near the expansion point because, you know, if he just sends a Wandering Engineer Rex... Oh, he's actually going to destroy it. Well, there goes that idea. He's just going to destroy the expansion point. I mean, that's a good way to deal with it. Because, yeah, screen players like to capture that because the drone ship has to lift itself up and it has to drop down again. And it's obviously, it's completely crippling to a screen player if they lose the drone ship, if they don't have an airfield. So, but he's not going to have to worry about that now, Rex, because it's not even there for him to capture. And tripods are now coming out, and the Mastermind is out now too.
Scorpion tank's going to be moving in. They're going for that stasis, so the stasis gets called in, but that is not what you would want to get with an ideal stasis. He is going to catch a couple of Scorpion tanks there, so that is going to be some free kills. At the same time, the Flame tank is going to be trying to move in at the natural expansion. He's also moving in with a couple of buggies, so this is kind of signaling that the Flame tank is in that area. We'll see if the Bike Buggy are able to get anything. It's going to be the Tib Vein detonation, which fires off, damaging some of those harvesters, taking a bit of health off of that refinery as well, and this map getting split up. Laser capacitors finishing just at the right time to get a couple of shots against those tripods back in the middle, and the War Factory will survive, and the Flame tank in the north takes down the refinery before the capture by that Mastermind. Drive gets both of the refineries at the natural expansion, slows down the third by forcing the drone ship to re-land, and this is such an awkward transition over to the third for both players. Pure chaos for the last minute, and I don't even know where the players stand after this. 2 refineries down, but what in the world?
Drive is in a really dominant position now, to be completely honest, because of that snipe. He's actually sold off all of his tech structures now, so he's going to go all in on this Scorp infantry play. He's got laser capacity, he's got dozer blades, and he's going to rely on the Scorpion tanks to carry him to victory. And honestly, with these tripods, he could kill these tripods with the amount of Scorps he has there. The Blackhand squads will tank some damage. But Rex has re-established his refinery. I actually don't think Rex should engage now.
Try and
it's
wait it out.
It's an interesting game now, yeah. I mean, he's in such an awkward position. It's hard as a screen player in this position. You've just had your eco completely ravaged. Do you go for the all or nothing push? I mean, you've got to remember, he doesn't have stasis up his sleeve anymore either.
Yeah. Now, there are a couple of Seekers on the right side of the map. They're looking for some Harvesters over at the third of Drive, but the Scorpion tanks on the left are doing basically the same thing. This is a lot of Scorpion tanks. The Seekers are going to pull all the way down into the bottom side of the map. We're once again kind of splitting the map, creating these awkward pockets where we're going to try and keep an eye on both sides of the map at the same time. Lots of Harvesters are potentially vulnerable for both players.
Seeker tanks aren't going to make the move. Actually, the Venoms are going to get sniped down here. This is really bad for Drive. He's getting all of his harvesters pulled off the line, and he still hasn't actually established himself. And the Scorpion tanks on the north side are actually going to get caught out by the tripods, forcing an engagement here. And the line formation here is terrible for Drive. This is actually a really good engagement for Rex.
He also cleans up a Harvester on the south side. His Seeker tanks, those upgrades, allowing him to blast through these Harvesters, and some of the Harvesters at the third are undefended, so these Scorpion tanks will eventually find some damage over at the main base of Rex. He's trying slowly to chase it down with his Descents and his Tripods, and I guess he eventually will catch up to these Scorpion tanks, but this main base is not much use to anyone at this point. I guess losing the War Factory is kind of bad, but those refineries weren't doing Rex much good anyways. At the same same time, Drive has somewhat stabilized back at home. His own main base is under threat. He's losing his own somewhat derelict structures as these Seeker tanks have walked their way from the third to the natural, now all the way to the main. Both of these guys so strung out over the map, all of their units just missing in action as they transition from one base to another. And now, Drive reforms his front line. He looks like he's going for a punch right through the main base of Rex.
To be fair, Rex doesn't exactly have a lot to deal with this. Although he does, I still believe he still has his phase, so he can just phase crush if he wants to deal with this infantry. And there's the Buzzer Swarm as well, comes in and cleans up a bunch of that infantry. And, well, that attack has just been cut in half, basically, by that Buzzer Swarm. That is the power of that ability.
All right, so Scorpion tanks on the left side, infantry on the right side. Drive is going to try and split the map. He's going to try and do damage somewhere or another, but Nerve Center and Technology are both vulnerable on the left side, but the economy is vulnerable on the left side. I think I just reversed those. But Tripod's going to be coming up the ramp. They're going to be able to absolutely gut these Scorpions as they walk in here. The Mastermind getting out of the danger zone. The Nerve Center goes down. Power plants to block for the Tier 3. The infantry on the right side have been significantly cut down, and Drive is going to be forced to back off. Rex manages to hold off both sides of the attack and secure his third on the high ground. Rex is finding some kind of a foothold. He was gutted a few minutes ago, but he's coming back strong.
I actually don't know if Drive can stop this army. He's just sold his MCV. Oh my god, he's got two barracks and 3 war factories, and he sold his MCV. He's going to go and probably capture one of Rex's Tiberium spikes. But, I mean, Rex isn't going to know this, but he doesn't need to worry about Tier 3 units. He's not going to know that, though. It's just going to be Scorps and infantry.
He's going to completely gut the natural expansion of Drive. Drive trying to cross-map. He can get the Tier 3, but the high ground is where the MCV is. That's where the economy is. The production is on the low ground. Tripods are going to be getting chased away by the infantry of Drive. And it looks like for the current moment, the Tripods will get called off the attack. The Tier 3 is going to go down, so there is going to be a down, the production is going to go downhill for Rex. War Factory getting eliminated. Drive is finding some kind of damage. A couple of Tripods have been teleported back home. War Factory does get eliminated. Drive is turning this back around at least a little bit. More and more Tripods keep getting whisked away. Futurama is not in this game, but Rex is just saving his Tripods one by one. Scorps eat up 2 Tripods on the right side. Third Tripod is going to go down. And has Drive done it?
Yeah, I mean, Rex has really made a mistake here. He split up his Tripods all over the map, and he's left them very vulnerable. And when the maneuverability is on Drive's side, you don't want to split up your army like that in such small numbers. And now I feel like the advantage is definitely in Drive's favor. He's just streaming units across the map from his production structures, and he's coming into the kill here from all directions.
He's once again trying this like 3 pockets of attack. Scorpion tanks, buggies, infantry all mixed together in 3 different attack groups, and he's keeping up the pressure everywhere that he can. So even if Rex defends one location, he's losing out on another front. Rex is crumbling. Rex is collapsing as the noose gets tightened. There are so many Scorpion tanks on the right side for Drive, and he's got his economy behind this. There's 1 Tripod in the natural expansion of Drive. I don't think that's going to be enough to turn the tide of this game, but Rex somehow is looking to strike back.
If he can get that Tripod back home with the Mastermind, he at least has some type of a fighting force still at home. He's actually going to kill that War Factory, which is actually a nice pickup, because obviously Drive can't rebuild that. But here he comes, he goes in, takes out that defensive tower, he loses a few buggies and a Scorpion tank for it, but that is a really important kill for Drive, because that defensive tower can be so annoying when you don't have any artillery units.
He just pops those Scorpion tanks as they're trying to re-maneuver from one side of this ridge to the other. War Factory on the high ground. We did see the refinery of Rex take a lot of damage. You called out the Tib Spike capture. There is another engineer heading for the 4th Tib Spike, which will give Drive all 4 Tib Spikes, and means that as these third bases dry up, that economy is going to be staying a little bit alive for Drive, at least more than Rex. 4 Tib Spikes.
That's a massive advantage. It's a massive advantage. I mean, that's what, 2,400 a minute. That's 3 free Scorpion tanks every minute. That's a big deal in this type of match.
We're coming down to the end as both of these guys have their armies and don't have much economy to rebuild. A couple of tripods are here. The Nerve Center and the Tier 3 are back up for Rex, so he's got the ability to make tripods. We haven't seen the Mechapede, and I don't think we will at this point, but that's the only thing we're sort of missing from this match is Mechapedes.
Drive has a tripod on the very north side of the map. He's obviously walked an engineer all the way across there to get that husk. He's not doing anything with it, but it is there. Oh, the Mastermind goes down.
Mastermind gets sniped. Infantry on the left side, Scorpion tanks on the right. Drive is kind of floundering here. He's waffling back and forth. He's taking a lot of damage from those tripods and allowing Rex even more time to try and rebuild. Rex is actually maybe going to get this tripod on the left side, which means that could be a husk that gets captured. We'll see if Drive is able to stop that, but at the same time, the tripod coming in from the backstab, he's going to maybe get the Tier 3. Drive finds the weakness, the angle in the back. Are you kidding me? The recovered tripod gets the kill there. Stasis massive on the front line. A huge amount of Scorpion tanks getting captured, and Drive is coming through, but Rex's defenses are holding strong. That Stasis giving Rex a second, third life here in this game.
He certainly has a big opportunity here if he can get a big amount. The thing is, the Dozer Blades can crush those disintegrators. Here he goes. The gunman hit him from the backside, so the rear armor for the disintegrators, that's a lot of damage, but I think Drive still has enough here. He's just going to overwhelm Rex with the pure numbers of the Scorpion tanks here, and I think Rex will fall. There it is.
GG. Drive almost losing out there, but ultimately coming through, and now we've seen a bit of parity. 2 wins for Futurama, 1 for Rex, 1 for Drive. The King of the Hill rotates once again. Drive coming through with Nod against Rex's Scrin. And that takes us to Red Zone 9. Wait, what's the name of this map, Dune?
Yeah, it's Red Zone 9.
Okay, it is Red Zone 9. For game number 5, we've had 2 kind of bad games, and we've had 2 really fun, entertaining games. And now we see which way this 5th game goes. In the north, playing the red, this is Drive.
And in the south, he is back. It is Cyan Futurama with Scrin Vanilla. So we're actually seeing the same matchup as last game, but instead of Rex, we have Drive. No, we have Futurama instead of Rex.
This is one of those newer maps. The lighting is pretty normal on most of the original maps. Like, obviously, you've got the clouds, which come through and do a lot of like interesting stuff on the ground. But this is one of those maps that has like green and purple lights that are placed somewhere off screen. So like you can see on the left side of buildings, there's a purple edge to it, and then on the right side there's a green. So it is one of those new maps. It has some interesting lighting. Real quick, I have never seen this map. Dune Tiger, you've seen this map a little bit. Can you walk us through the features of this map?
Yes, right. So you start off with this blue Tiberium here. Yeah, if we start from Futurama's base, and then there's a tip spike just to the north of Futurama, and there's a tip spike just to the east, and obviously that mirrors to Drive's side. There's a tip spike just below him, and a tip spike to his left. Obviously, the bottom spike is a little bit vulnerable. We actually did see Futurama tried to go for a NG snipe, but he didn't quite get it. And then there's just this mosh pit of green Tiberium in the middle of the map. So that is obviously where a lot of the fighting will be, and I imagine Devastator warships on this map could be very powerful because you sit them in the middle there, it's going to be hard for someone to shoot back at you.
This is such a bizarre layout of a map compared to a lot of the maps that we've sort of become accustomed to over the last couple of years. A lot of the community-made maps, they have 3 fields. They have a nice progression. There is a blue or 2 blue fields that are slow growth, and this kind of breaks a lot of those rules. I don't actually know. Does the green Tiberium regrow in the middle, or is that just like one and done? I don't.
In the bottom right corner, there's actually a neutral mutant.
Right, and it's just like guarding the mutant hovel, and there's ion storms overhead. And then in the middle, there's also a 5th Tiberium spike, which is quite damaged and has Tiberium around it. So I'm not sure what the story with that wounded Tiberium spike is, but there are 5 potential Tiberium spikes on this map. And I mean, the blue Tiberium in the corner, the double spikes. This is just an unusual map from what we normally see.
Yeah, so it's going to play... It's just going to... I can't even predict how this game is going to play because it is so different. We can see that Futurama's gone straight for his tier 3. Drive is going for double War Factory. Probably, I mean, realistically, it's actually played quite normal for a blue Tib map, but I feel like this mid to late game could be... We could see some wacky things.
I kind of, over on the Futurama side of things, the dude is got more than 10 grand in the bank. Drive, on the other hand, he's down near around 3 grand. He's just a little bit lower, but you can definitely see the blue Tiberium boon from Futurama. He had just, you know, no worries about tib silos or anything. He is just banking all of that cash for later, and now that he's moved into the middle, we're going to be expecting to see a big explosive army as he drains his bank account.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see a lot of tripods and Devastator warships in particular. I seriously think Devastator warships are going to be a force to be reckoned with on this map. Disintegrator's on that right-hand side, trying to take out that tib spike. He should be able to get it. I don't imagine those buggies will be able to stop him.
We've seen a couple of skirmishes here and there on the map, but the big confrontation has yet to happen. Tib Spike in the north does get taken down, and then Drive's Tib Spike in the south also gets eliminated. Futurama and Drive, they have had big incomes. They are headed towards the middle of the map, and I can only imagine what they've got planned. We do have an air tower getting added on, flame tanks as well for Drive. We have yet to see any of his classic one-clicks come to bear, but those should be coming online in the next couple of minutes as he techs up. And for now, they're both still just, I don't know, posturing in the middle of the map. For all of the cash, it's been a pretty passive game.
Yeah, well, I guess it is quite hard to actually get to your opponent's side of the map. You sort of get funneled into these little choke points, and I mean, when you've got tripods at the end of those choke points, it's not exactly an inviting place to go.
Yeah, the whole middle of the map, really only the top left. I don't know if those ion storms in the top right damage you. I guess they don't. There's a flame tank in the top left and a flame tank in the top right. But yeah, it's like the corners of the map are big and open and you have space. And then the whole middle of the map is just a mesh of choke points.
It's going to be quite tough because this Scorpion Tank army, I mean, Nod thrives on that maneuverability. I mean, last game I said how it doesn't, but realistically, this is not an ideal map for Nod. Like, there is not much maneuverability at all. They do need maneuverability, but this Flame Tank in the back of the base is actually going to get in, and I don't think there's anything to stop this from taking out the tier 3.
And the other flame tank has already struck down the Tib Spike, so Futurama says, I'm just going to go right through the front door. He's got tripods at the front. He's going to be bursting down that obelisk, but that will be the end of the tripod production. If he had hopes of a Warp Chasm, of an Eradicator, Hexbot, of more tripods, those hopes are now gone. The tier 2 could also be targeted down. There are a couple of flame tanks here that, no, they're just attacking power plants. Never mind. Futurama has kind of faltered at the front line. He's given, the stasis chamber locks down the tier 3 as well on the Drive side of the map, so no more production from Drive, and the Avatar is here, but it's about to get wiped off of the face of the earth. One tripod falls, 2 tripods fall, as only 2 tripods remain, but the MCV is trying to give life to this attack. Engineers coming out from Futurama, but they're getting sniped. Finally, he recovers back. 1 tripod husk as this obelisk gets replaced. Futurama on the brink of bursting down Drive's door, and the GG gets called. That, I mean, you were kind of talking about
brilliant.
You were kind of talking about an all-in, and that almost felt like I'm just gonna set up camp at my opponent's front door and I'm not leaving. Almost an all-in mentality, but just 5 minutes, 6 minutes into the game.
And that stasis was fantastic. It got the MCV and the tech, which prevented Drive, because he used that redemption support power. You want to be building militants into that. He couldn't do that because his MCV was stasised, and the tech got stasised right before lasers was about to finish, which forced Drive to engage with his Scorpion tanks without lasers. I mean, Futurama could not have asked for a better stasis, and that's probably what won him that game and that fight.
And that will do it for game number 5 as it kicks us into game 6. And that sends us to Decrepit Arena for game 6 in the north as the red Traveler 59. This is Rex.
And in the southeast as the cyan Traveler 59, it is Futurama, and he's not gone fast legs. That, I'll be brutally honest, is a mistake off the bat. Traveler Mirror, you need to build like 10 descents every time. He's instantly put himself at a disadvantage. Especially, well, this is really interesting from Rex. He's going for the blue tip with no refinery. So he's going to go for the descents, he's going to take his spike, and he's moving straight there.
That's what you mean by going for the blue tip with no refinery. He's moving his MCV, so he's definitely hoping to deny the scout, but buzzers spot this immediately. On the left side of the map, Futurama, he has waypointed his buzzer, and so he doesn't actually turn it around to follow the drone ship. He's just going to what was the main base of Rex.
Wow, look at what Rex is doing. He's actually focusing down the blue Tiberium.
This is some Bike Rush level stuff. Bike will do this sometime.
Yeah, it's actually really clever because he knows that all of the defense will be at Futurama's base. So he's just going to go, well, I'm not going to go to your base, I'm going to kill all your blue Tiberium.
Well, I mean, if you take your blue Tiberium and you kill your opponent's blue Tiberium while maintaining a little bit of build radius back at home, I guess this is the best of both worlds. We will see. This is an unorthodox opening from Rex.
It's fascinating. You know, Rex actually took a massive risk too, because if Futurama went for descents, he may have never been able to land his drone ship unless he engaged the disintegrator army of Futurama. So, I mean, Rex has played this in a very risky way, but it's going to pay off massively.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. If Futurama had gone descent and he had spotted that drone ship, it would have been basically game over from Rex. He would have had to spend all of his cash basically trying to land his own drone ship. And I mean, as it stands, he's way behind in terms of refinery timing. He's way behind in terms of war factory. But I guess his plan is in the mid-game, this will all even out, except I'll have blue Tiberium and my opponent won't.
This is actually, I mean, Futurama almost has to win right now. Like, he has to go and kill Rex right now. I mean, he may be doing that. Look, his drone ship's going straight across the map.
He's got his harvesters, he's got his production, and he says, let's go. The descents in the north, they kind of took a pause on their killing Tib Crystal's mission, but they are sort of back at it now, and yeah. We get a weird map in the last game, and now we get a very normal map, Tournament Arena, but with a bit of a skin change and with blue Tiberium at the start, and it's turned into one of the weirdest games we've seen in a long time.
Well, Rex has just spotted it, and he actually still has a photon, he still has a portal, which means he can place photon cannons straight away, which is really important here. There's obviously... That's hard to crack. I mean, you've got Gunwalkers and Seeker tanks. They're not going to do well versus the photon cannons.
So Rex has also gone for a nerve center behind the scenes. So this is all of his tech is in the north. And, I mean, he can get dev tanks. He can get cultists. Like, he can go whatever he wants, and we'll see what he's able to do. Descent's trying to sneak into the main base of Futurama. They're going to get cut down by Gunwalkers. And Futurama's just kind of getting pushed back at the noon main base of Rex. I don't know. Is this just like lights out?
I actually think it is. I actually don't know how Futurama can come back from this. I mean, he can't build dev tanks because he's Traveler 59. They don't get dev tanks. The issue is for Rex... Oh, no, he has built a refinery. He has built a refinery at the north, so he's not even out of Tiberium. I mean...
He's just going to transfer all of his harvesters up there. Now, fortunately, Futurama's blue Tiberium was not totally annihilated. There is still some blue Tiberium there, and Futurama now has the regular income. So if this Gunwalker army doesn't go the way of Rex, Futurama has bought himself a lot of extra time in this game. More Gunwalkers going to be coming in from both sides. Photon cannons on the floor for both as well. It is a mirror matchup as much as you can get. but Futurama is pushing out more Gunwalkers. That double War Factory from the beginning, he has been able to just mass more units than Rex, and Rex is now transferring everything back up into his main. He's building more buildings there, and Futurama is going to scout it with his descents. Rex is falling to pieces.
Rex is falling, yeah. I mean, he's put his tier 3 at his expansion down there. That's really ballsy. I mean, a temporal wormhole right now would be good to buy him some time, but I mean, is he about to get a tripod out? I mean, that's huge if he gets a tripod out. Yeah, tripod comes out. He needs to use temporal, but that tripod can't fight 3 photon cannons. It's not going to fight them on its own.
Gunwalkers reforming the front line. Futurama still running around with his descents in the main base of Rex. 1 photon cannon goes down. This tripod trying to stay away from the front line and get those repairs. Futurama trying to reinforce with descents. They're getting cut down by Rex, but Rex's MCV now once again under threat, and Futurama is, I don't know, just putting on all of the pressure that he possibly can. He's still got a decent amount of green back at home, so I think he can keep this up.
Yeah, he can keep this up, but it's whether he can actually deal with the tripods. There's now 2 of them out. The photon cannons, I mean, there's not enough photon cannons here anymore to deal with 2 tripods. All the disintegrators have been cleaned up by the Gunwalkers and the Buzzer Hive, but tier 2 is down and a stasis chamber is out. We're going to see cultists, and now this is the magic part of the game. Can he get the cultists to work? If the cultists spread the tripods, it's game over.
Buzzer Hive gets called in. Gunwalkers get the first cultist down, so he's going to have to wait until the second one pops on out. But these 2 tripods, the defense is wearing thin. Double Buzzer Hive on top of the barracks. Perfect positioning here by Rex with the double Buzzer Hive as he cuts down Gunwalker after Gunwalker. And Rex has broken the front line of Futurama. The drone ship is running for the hill, and the tech is all here at the front line of Rex. The portal goes down as the GG gets called, and Futurama falls to pieces. Rex almost being defeated there, but he claws it back in the end with his Bizarro rush to the blue. That
was a very back and forth game there. And within a minute, I thought Rex was going to win, and then I thought Futurama was going to win, and then I thought Rex was going to win. It was fluctuating very quickly there, but I mean, for a Trav Mirror, that was quite a unique game.
That was not the 40 minutes of hexalaming as they just try and go to heroic that we sometimes see from Traveler 59. So a fantastic 6th game, short but punchy.
And now Rex will take on Drive in game number 7.
And that takes us to Tiberium Rift, the twisted variant of Tournament Rift, and in the north, as the orange plain screen, this is Rex.
And in the south side as the green, not vanilla, it is Drive, who at this stage is actually with the least amount of wins. He's only got the 1. Rex has 2, and Futurama has 3, but Futurama isn't going to be adding to that tally in this game because he's not a part of it.
So, does Rex catch up to Futurama to match him for 3 wins? Or does Drive catch up to Rex to match him for 2 wins? And then we go to a decider with Futurama. We are clawing our way towards that 12-game limit. And we want to take a moment to say, once again, thanks to Shanks for donating the prize pool for this event and also, well, for this show match. And also, you know, bring in some awesome Kane's Wrath action because we have seen some unusual maps. We have seen some unusual strategies. This has just been a barrel of fun, these games. Well, minus those first 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. We've still got, well, this one and then 5 more to go. I mean, it's awesome because even if one player has a bad day, we're going to get 12 games no matter what. It's not like it's a best of 9 and it could be a 5-0. It doesn't matter because there's 3 players here. We're getting 12 games guaranteed. You know, we're going to get good games out of that no matter what. And yeah, again, thank you to Shanks. He's been doing a lot of that lately, giving us some awesome content. And look at this 4th Harvester from Rex going to the blue Tiberium. Again, I don't like it. I'm going to say it again. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. But
we should track whether or not they send the fourth harvester for blue and whether or not they win the game, and then just be like, see, the whole reason they won and or lost the game is off of that harvester.
Yeah. If Rex loses this, it's because he sent his fourth harvester to the blue. It's a fact.
He like accidentally sells his MCV in 1 minute, and you're like, oh, nope, it was still the blue harvester.
Yeah, it was
but
the blue
another
harvester.
thing I do want to call out is we have seen everything except GDI in this matchup. So this very easily could have been GDI mirrors 12 games in a row, but we're seeing a bit of Trav, we're seeing a bit of Nod, bit of Mark of Kane, bit of Black Hand. I mean, we haven't seen everything, but we have seen a nice variety, and it's not just GDI, multi-MCV, Sonic emitters, and Juggernauts until the day we die.
Yeah, I must admit, it's quite refreshing, actually. A lot of the games that you see lately, it's been a lot of GDI and that Marv Juggernaut Sonic emitter build, but you know, here we go. The bikes in the south side are going to pick off a harvester. I don't imagine he's going to be able to save it, and these Seekers are actually shooting at the buggies, which isn't going to help his cause here, Rex.
Ooh. Drive's harvester on the other side of the map was glitching out for a moment, but killing 2 harvesters more than makes up for it. He's going to maybe get the second one. The repairs and the Seeker tanks are here. There's a second Seeker tank. The juking is not good enough or barely good enough.
Oh,
no! Are you kidding? With the last shot there, he gets the harvester. 2 harvesters down. Rex is feeling the pain.
Yeah, that's a really good start for Drive, and he's already established himself with a second refinery. He's already got 9 harvesters as well. I mean, sorry, but I don't want to point fingers. That blue tip halve.
The blue tip halve. Oh, okay, so Rex also, he was researching something in his nerve center and he just canceled it. So for the last minute or so, he's had cash tied up in researching something at his nerve center, and then he just decided to dump it. He got a little bit of a cash boost back because of that, but everything else in his build has been slowed down. Okay, it's fast tier 3. This is a tier 3 off of 1 war factory, 3 refineries for Rex. Losing those 2 extra harvesters has absolutely slowed Rex's build down by a massive amount.
I'm interested to see what he goes for here. Is it going to be tripods or mechapedes? I honestly, in the games I've played with him, I haven't seen him use mechapedes a lot, so I feel like it's going to be tripods, but I tell you what, if he goes tripods versus what Drive is doing, which is a 3 War Factory bike buggy spam, he's just going to get pulled out of position. They're not going to be fast enough to deal with this, and it is tripods. I think this is looking really good for Drive.
He's wanting to even up that score, he says. You have 1 win, I'm about to make, or you have 2 wins, I'm about to make it 2 for myself as well. The portal from the beginning of the game kept around for so long by Rex and now never actually utilized. He has that, Drive has that hallucinated army as well, which just absorbs shots from these tripods. A nice little distraction there. Bike Buggy going to be swinging in. A couple of descents are here, but the harvesters are absolutely about to get wrecked. 1 harvester getting dived on, not going down barely. It does survive there, but no, it dies on the transfer, and the other harvesters getting targeted. There are a number of secret tanks. There is a tripod here as well, so these harvester kills are not free. Rex is making Drive pay, but it's more economic damage to Rex and more response that he didn't want to have to make. Photon cannons, portals, descents, all defensively served instead of offensively getting out onto the field. Drive is turning around. Okay, he's going to back off.
Yeah, that's it was an interesting engagement. I would say it was almost a nil-all draw. I mean, the harvester count for Rex is still good enough now that his main base has dried up, but Drive is about to drop down his tier 4, I believe. Yeah, tier 4 comes down, so we're going to see the 1 clicks very soon. This tripod on its own is going to get picked off here, but it is killing quite a few. Oh, is he going to go for it? Drive's going to commit. Oh, this could actually be costly. He does get the tripod, but he does lose quite a few bikes for it. Now, this is the thing, is that despite, you know, he is going to get outmaneuvered, but if the tripods do get in range of the black buggy, it's gonna be devastating for that black buggy. Now, Mastermind's out as well.
The last couple of seconds of a couple of these engagements have been absolutely devastating to the numbers of Drive. He went from a big, giant bike buggy ball, and then it gets cut in half, and then it gets cut in half again. He's got the economy to keep up the production, but there's the Mastermind teleport down to the south side. Couple of tripods going to be showing in. Vein Detonation fires off, but the phase comes in at the last possible second. He's going to dive on the Harvesters. He's going to get a couple of them. Stasis locks down a couple of those units, but it doesn't stop everything. Mastermind grabs one of the bikes, and it's going to be up to the 2 photon cannons to stop the rest of these units. MCV trying to transfer out, but it's taking so much damage as these bikes fly past it, and it looks like they will go up to the north. They will be dealt with eventually. Everything will go down, but a Catalyst missile getting added into the mix here.
Oh my god, it almost killed the Mastermind. Down. Look at the Mastermind's health. The Catalyst almost killed the Mastermind as well.
Barely survives as these third bases get added on in a couple of minutes. Drive is going to have a very healthy Harvester count to transfer over, and Rex not so much.
Yeah, Rex is in a bit of trouble here. I mean, he does have the superior army, but avatars are coming out. We're probably going to see infantry. Yeah, infantry coming out now as well. I mean, if you gave me a choice of whose position I'd rather be in, I'd definitely rather be in Drive's. But, you know, I've said that about a few games in this series, and then the other players won. So maybe I'll just keep my mouth shut on where I'd rather be.
The definite nice thing is, even though Rex had the better army, the amount of time that it takes him to get across the map as Drive, one of these players, gets set up over at the third base. Yeah, he's just got so much time on his side to wait this one out, to build up defenses. You called out the infantry transition. We see the Secret Shrine. We see the Hand of Nod as well. Like, everything is getting set up nicely here for Drive. Rex backs off, though.
Yeah, I mean, he probably understands that he can't push out because a lot of these tripods had low health, and he probably knows that Drive will build infantry, and he just doesn't have anything to kill infantry right now, so it is the right choice to pull back. I mean, it probably gives Drive the chance to actually get ahead in the game, but you'd rather be a little bit behind in the game than have completely lost it. So I think that pulling back was the right decision for Rex there.
Now, one thing, you called out the Mastermind tanking a lot of damage earlier. It actually hasn't been repaired or healed at any point, so it is still extremely low on... Never mind, it's dead. It gets sniped by an Avatar. It's very low on health. It could have survived that Avatar blast, but it doesn't. Tier 3 kind of getting targeted down. We have these 3 weird bikes in the back of Rex's base. They're not really going to get anything. Maybe if they had Tib Core, they would have been able to get a kill, but they don't really do much more than draw the army out of position. The main base is going to get wasted. Fortunately for Rex, he does still have the third, where his Warp Chasm is, where... Oh, is he going to try and defend this? He's going to try and hold it, so a couple of tripods coming in here, a lot of Gunwalkers as well, and Drive has to decide, does he want to fight or does he want to turn and run? Venom's going to be coming in. It's going to be the Redemption as well. Mind Drop also coming in.
Redemption is huge here. He's got to land some Emps there. Big Emp! Big Emp! That's what he needs, and now the phase field has to be used. Yeah, Drive's going to win this fight. And I mean, that's just the power of Redemption.
Shriek, but like, yeah. Oh, he's going to get a couple of crushes, but those Emps were massive.
Yeah. And the thing is now is that once these tripods unfazed, the avatars are just going to shoot them down instantly. But the Hexapod is about to come out, so... This could be the saving grace. I mean, when there's a Hexapod on the field, you can never count someone out.
You can see Rex trying to position his tripods to potentially go for EMPs, but no, he's going to walk them away before the phase runs out. Buzzer Swarm support power gets called in, cutting down these rocket squads, giving them alternate targets to fire at rather than just attacking these tripods. 2 tripods low on health. Drive is ready to take them over with engineers as well, and the GG gets called. Rex has been defeated. Drive evens up the score 2-2.
All I'm going to say is that 4th Harvester. That's my analysis of the game.
That's what it all came down to. It didn't matter about the bike buggy coming in and killing a bunch of Harvesters. It's just about that 4th Harvester transfer. Actually, he did that in game 1, right? And Futurama won that one, and he's done it here. And Drive won that one, and I'm pretty sure he didn't do it
There's a
in
pattern.
the 2 games that he won. So you are 100% right, and that is going to kick
go.
us into the next match. And that takes us to Tournament Crater for game whatever number this is. I've lost track at this point. In the north, playing the Cyan GDI. This is Futurama.
And in the south, as the green nod, it is Drive. If he wins this game, will go equal with Futurama on 3 wins. But if Futurama wins this, he gets his gap back. 4 wins for him and 2 for the other players. Rex and Drive will both be on 2. So Futurama has the chance here to leave them behind.
So has there been an R19 change regarding EMP control centers? Both players are capturing them right out of the gate, essentially as fast as possible. And I've noticed this more in R19. People seem to be going for EMP control centers more than they have in the whole history of Kane's Wrath.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive there hasn't been any change. But yeah, I think players have realized now that you can actually get the EMP spike and not massively stall. There used to be this really big, you know, people didn't like capturing structures early in the game, like defensive towers and things like that, because it stalled their economy. But people have started to realize it actually doesn't impact you that much, as long as you don't build too many scouts. Now we can see, I think, well, Futurama only built 2. Drive has, what, 4, which is cheap for Nod. And now both players will be able to afford their second refinery without stalling. Although, Drive isn't going for a second refinery.
He's got that super fast MCV move, which does get spotted immediately by Futurama. Futurama, if Drive had something weird planned, because he did also go Operations Center, Futurama has a read on it. He doesn't know exactly where the flame tank is. I think it was just 1 flame tank. Maybe it was 2.
It's just the 1.
Okay. So Futurama doesn't know exactly where it is, but he does know what is heading his way.
Yeah, and he's setting his Pitbull straight out to the right. I mean, he's got good eyes down the middle, and he knows that it didn't go out to the left because that's where the Blackhand squad went. I mean, typically you're not going to send the Blackhand squad the same side as the Flame Tank. This is really just good game sense from Futurama. He understands that, I guess by luck of chance or whatever you want to call it, he knows it should be on the right-hand side.
Yep. And there we go. Pitbull gets a couple of shots off. Futurama is zeroing in on the location, and now with 2 Pitbulls finding the flame tank this far away, he has really no trouble dealing with that flame tank at all. Drive, on the other hand, War Factory on the low ground, double refinery on the high ground. So it is 2 refineries, 2 War Factories from Drive. Futurama is looking a bit more normal with his 3rd refinery getting added on, but EMPs are going to be coming in relatively soon. I'm not sure exactly the timing, but they should be coming up pretty soon here.
This is really ballsy from Drive, because I actually don't think this is a good map for this type of build, because it's so closed off. It's really hard to actually get into your opponent's fields. And Predator tanks for GDI will just, you can put 3 of them in your tib field and bike buggies just shut down, right? And normally that's an issue on other maps because the bike buggy can run around the Predator tanks, but because there's such a funnel into the Tiberium fields, the Predator tanks will almost always be in position. But to be fair, he's not building Predator tanks, which I think is a mistake from Futurama, but we will see if the Pitbulls are able to do the job.
Oh, I do like the Black Hand squad on the left side burning down that spike from the bunker. But back at the natural expansion, and the EMP catches only 1 of the, well, actually only 1 on each side. It does take that refinery offline, and it does actually take the watchtower offline as well. But overall, Drive has to back off.
And that's the thing with this map is that, and then, yeah, here we go. The Predator tank's coming out now. But the Pitbulls did the job. And I think the Pitbulls did the job because, again, it's so hard because you have to ram your head against a brick wall to get into the tib field, which is not what Bike Buggy wants to do. And now Futurama's going to move for a counterattack.
Drive wants to be fast, mobile, always able to find another angle, and this map just doesn't necessarily work out for that. Now, we do have that Black Hand squad burning down the tib spike. Maybe Drive gets lucky. He can burn something else down. The shoe is on the other foot now as the Pitbulls come in. They trade out with a couple of the units of Drive, but ultimately no losses on the side of Drive, just some health bars exchanged.
I'd love to see Orcas here from Futurama. It's a really good map. I mean, he's gone for Hammerheads. I actually think Orcas would be a really good choice. Because of all the terrain, aircraft does become quite strong, and it's a really good map for Orcas, especially if Drive is going to go into this Scorpion tank play. I really would like to see Orcas.
A couple of Predator tanks are here.
The MCV's coming straight down the middle. It's actually going into the middle of the map. I don't think that's the path he wants to take, but...
And under a different, in different circumstances, that would definitely be a dangerous thing to do, moving your MCV across that bridge. But Drive is not out on the map enough to actually punish that. Orca Strike does get called in. Hammerhead is waiting as well. And, well, Orca Strike not of much consequence. But Futurama says, I've got 2 refineries on my natural. Let's do this. Let's end the game right here, right now.
This is going to be tough for Drive to stop, although the tier 3 is down, so obelisks will be on their way, and that is really the hope that he needs. Obelisks and avatars here is the way he holds this, but honestly, there's enough Scorpion tanks here that he will be able to stall until those avatars and obelisks come out. I'm not sure Futurama can push through here.
Drive has reached a perfect amount of income, and he is just able to produce basically everything that he wants pretty consistently. Avatars, Scorpion tanks, obelisks, all here on the defense for Drive. Futurama, on the other hand, is going to be trying to trade out as much as he can. It feels like Futurama just doesn't have enough, but he's not backing off. He's dropping even more. He's got the War Factory now. He is going to extend out this fight as long as he possibly can. EMPs should be coming back online relatively soon for these players. Predator tanks getting popped 1, 2, 3, 4 as these avatars and the obelisks find their marks. The first avatar does go down, and the Scorpion tanks holding strong against the Predators. There's the fire sale as Futurama backs off a little bit. EMP misses the Hammerheads but catches everything else, and Futurama fires back a moment too early.
I think he has to pull back. Yeah, he's going to pull back. I think this is the right... Oh, no, his reverse move bugged. Oh, my God.
Oh, that MCV takes an extra shot. Almost loses an extra... Oh, these avatars... Okay, they stop. They were right on the edge there. That was almost 2 massive moments right in a row. Hammerheads will go down. They get burnt up by... those SAM sites. And yeah, that mine drop, it almost ended the entire Predator tank army of Futurama.
Yeah, I think Hammerheads were a really poor choice, especially when he had the option to go Orcas, because there was no infantry, and, I mean, the Hammerheads almost achieved nothing, and the Orcas would have been really good versus the Avatars there. I think, honestly, if he had 4 Orcas in that fight, he probably wins the game.
Drive's income between his main base, his natural, and the blue Tiberium that he was sneaking on the side was so consistent that he had basically 3K in the bank that whole time. Part of it was he wasn't using any one-clicks until the mine drop at the end. But he now has Vertigos. He's kind of flushed out his tech tree, and he's had a lot of income. He's still got a decent amount in the bank.
Speaking of one-clicks, there's the tip vein. Stealth tanks coming in. Vertigos as well. He's pulling out all the tricks here, Drive. Oh my God, that is a brutal... I mean, the Catalyst won't be... He'll probably get both refs here as well. He only goes for 1. He probably could have got both, but these guys do seem to only click 1 ref. They seem to have this gentleman's agreement that they'll only click 1. So...
EMP Control Center will be taken down, so maybe Futurama will be able to find a better engagement. But yeah, his entire economy just got shattered. Is he going to try and drop a ref on the right side?
Be risky.
He's got his MCV just parked there.
These Preds are just funneling into their death here. Avatar's just firing them down. Oh man, this is terrible by Futurama.
Futurama
he's just
says...
funneling into his death.
It's Christmas time! He is giving Drive a gift. Thousands worth of Predator tanks burned down there almost for free. For the cost of 1 obelisk this holiday season, it's a GG to give Drive 3 wins in this show match.
And he ties it up. Drive has won the last 2 games, and he now has an opportunity to take the overall lead in the next game versus Rex. But here's the situation. If Drive wins, he takes the lead. If Rex wins, it's 3 apiece. So there's a lot on the line for this next game, and it could be a very exciting one.
Ultimately, it would have been really cool to see a 12-game streak, but 4-4-4 is also really fun, and it looks like we have an opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. So let's not barrack for Rex, but let's see what happens in game number 9.
And that takes us to the best map in the pool. Forget your Highlands and your Odyssey and your Rift. This is the true king of maps, and we get to see these 2 guys on it in the north as the green. This is Drive.
And in the south as the pink screen, it is Rex. And I mean, when Cybert told me what map we had for this game, I must admit, I didn't exactly give a positive reaction.
You did say that you hate this map.
It's just, I don't enjoy this map at all. But it could turn out to be a classic game. You never know. The weirdest maps have given us some amazing games. Just think of Mountain Pass.
Oh yeah, yes. Mountain Pass has given us many, many good games. Some of them about 10 years ago. I am also not a fan of this map. Most players, as far as I can tell, most people are not a fan of this map. You have an extremely easy to defend second and third base. They kind of come together almost as a package of 2, and anyone playing Scrin, oh, we have another Flame Rush coming out, and it's scouted immediately by Rex. So Drive tried this last game. He's doing it again this game. But this is a map that, you know, can be hexalamed very, very successfully. Mm-hmm. And there have been some players who were losing on this map, and then they hexalamed, and they were able to draw the game out by like 40 minutes, and then win the game after that.
The only positive I will say about this map is that it's probably the most likely map in the game for us to see a super weapon. So that's what I have my hopes on, is that this game will go into that situation where we may see some nukes and some rift generators be used. That would make it worth it.
That would be pretty cool. It's sort of, you're getting a cool thing, but for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
But Flame Tank coming right down the middle. It is going to get tagged by this Seeker Tank. A couple of Seeker Tanks are here, and Drive does not care. He is going right for this refinery. I don't think he's going to get it, but it's going to be close one way or the other, and the refinery survives. Too bad for Drive, but Rex holds that off. We'll see. Maybe he gets the burn down on this Tib Spike in the south, but I don't know. Drive, he goes for the rush.
No, he's already killed the Blackhand Squad. This could be game over already. I mean, if Rex pushes right now, Drive's going to have a hard time defending that. And while he pushes, he can just eco. This is a really bad situation, because he's gone for this Flame Rush and done literally no damage. He didn't kill a Tib Spike, he didn't kill a ref. He also built these extra buggies, which didn't do anything either.
And I mean, Drive is scraping the bottom of the barrel. His income is basically at 0. He's spent everything that he has to try and get his defense up, and that does just delay his third refinery even more. Seeker Tank's going to be swinging around to the natural expansion, and as you said, Rex is just free to do whatever he wants. He's looking at that scoreboard. He's like, it's 3-3-2. I want it to be 3-3-3. And in this case, he's going to be set up really well to go into the mid-game to take this match.
Yeah, look, he's already got his second ref on his expansion, and I'm surprised he hasn't gone for the blue. I mean, you go for it with your 4th harvester. What about your 9th? Come on.
Yeah, might as well get it while you're safe with your Seeker Tanks on the other side of the map harassing your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, Drive has to do damage soon with this Double War Factory because he is so far behind. But I'm not sure he'll be able to. I mean, you dropped it. Oh, he's going for his tech. He's not going for a portal. I would have loved to see a portal here from Rex first, because then he can build photon cannons to defend while he builds his tech. I mean, it's a 6-minute building to build a portal. Delaying your tech by 6 seconds isn't the end of the world. He's actually destroying the blue tip in the middle as well.
Yeah.
I thought he would go for it.
I clicked back over to the middle of the map just to see that. Like, what a weird move by Rex. Rex also has a lot of cash in the bank, so he is behind this. He is sort of banking up income that I assume he's going to dump into tripods, but he didn't go double War Factory before this. He didn't go, you know, Gravity Stabilizer, nothing. So he's got all of this cash in the bank that he's getting ready to dump.
Honestly, I'd love to see shard launches here. And almost...
He's getting something.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be getting shields, but I'd love to see shard launches because, I mean, he's got all these Seeker tanks out on the map, and he may as well benefit them first because his tripods are going to be strong no matter what. The difference between a Seeker with shards and a tripod with shields, I mean, you'd rather have the shard launches, wouldn't you? The tripod does come out now.
Defense will hold pretty easily. You have to hand it to Drive. He completely failed a Flame Rush in the early game, and he is kind of bouncing back. Rex has given him a lot of time. Oh, it was shields. So I suspect it's... oh, no, that's from the... Yeah, it was shields from the nerve center, so... Could be shard
maybe
launchers
we will
on
see
the
shard
tier
launchers.
3.
I'd love to see shard launchers. I think it would be really good in this situation. He's actually going to try and take that northern spike as well. We got an assimilator walking across through the middle of the map, but he's probably going to lose his own spike. So interesting.
I guess that's a good trade
there. Yeah, I'd probably. Oh, that is shards. Yes. That's awesome.
He's going to get a Harvester. He's going to get maybe 2 Harvesters. They do evac. Only 1 Harvester lost for free there, and now it's going to be a trade. Scorpion tanks versus these Seekers. But the second Harvester gets sent back to work, but it's not quite enough damage. Unfortunately for Rex, he's not able to get a clear win on that eco front. He is pressuring here and there. Dev tank... Oh! Mastermind just died! Rex just suicided his Mastermind.
This is terrible by Rex. He's just suicided his Mastermind. He's going to lose a dev ship for free as well. I'm not sure what he was trying to do with this. And he's leaving his dev ships in the middle of the map unprotected. Drive could kill those as well.
Rex clearly thought that whatever attack he was pulling in the north with the Seekers was going to be way more successful. But Drive holds off the Seeker tanks, stops the dev tanks, kills the Mastermind, and now Rex is set up over at his third. He's going for the blue. He's looking towards the late game, but Drive is set up at his third as well. Things have come to a bit more of an equal place.
I can't believe this. I think, see... I'm not really sure why he's built all these dev ships. There's no infantry, and he's not getting base pushed. So what have you built them for? I'm a bit confused by that choice. I mean, the shard launchers is great, the tripods is great, but why the dev ships? I really don't understand that in this situation.
Because he didn't want to build mechapedes. He was like, I gotta spend this money somewhere. I don't want to build mechapedes, so I'm going to build tripods from 1 War Factory, and I'm going to build a Gravity Stabilizer and get dev tanks. Or dev standard warships, not dev tanks from a Gravity Stabilizer. That would be pretty amazing. Third base is under threat here. Harvester taking a bit of damage. Laser Capacitors has been purchased for Drive, so all of those Scorpion tanks that he's built through this whole portion of the game, they're now all a lot stronger. There are a couple of tripods on the north side. I thought Rex was trying to draw the army out of positions, but the tripods just back away.
Oh my god, and he's losing his dev warships again for free. There's Venoms and Bikes and Buggies. What's he going for? He's going for a refinery. I mean, that's not really worth losing the dev ships for because the tip fields are so close to it together anyway.
2 Devastator warships going down. Now Rex is going to pick up a tripod, an avatar kill basically for free. He's brought his MCV along for the ride as well. So Rex establishes his third base, and then he's just going to try and base push Drive. He's going to try and camp out.
I think this is a good choice actually, but he still needs to be careful. These Devastator warships are vulnerable again. The Seekers is being pushed away in the south by those laser scorps, and again, he's just going to lose another Devastator warship for free. He's built these Devastator warships for almost no reason, then he's just lost them all for free. I mean, he's just wasted almost 10 grand worth of money on nothing. Those dev ships achieved nothing. They didn't even kill that refinery they shot at.
The refinery survives, and he was feeling a little bit bad because of how quickly he shut down that flame tank rush. He was like, man, I had 8 grand in the bank. Yeah, I feel really bad. I feel guilty. So I'm going to donate away my Mastermind. I'm going to donate away my Devastator warships. I'm just going to kind of waffle around, hang out for a little while, let you build up your tier 3. Walk into these mines! Okay, none of the tripods go down, but they do take some pretty hefty damage. The MCV gets repositioned onto the front line. There are at least plasma missile batteries to deal with the Venoms, but there's not much on the ground. We'll see if these tripods can burn through this tripod, this Avatar army. Scorpion tanks are here. There's the stasis. That's what we were waiting for. At the same time, those Seeker tanks are looking for the vulnerable targets at the back line. Now, there is going to be an Eradicator Hexpod walking forward to the front, so this is going to be everything that Rex has right here on the front line, and he is going to try and burn down the infrastructure as this army comes back online. The stasis will expire.
He needs a big crush here. This could be huge if he can get some avatars. One avatar crush straight away. The Hexapod continuing to move it. Drive. He's letting these avatars be crushed. The Scorpion tanks being ripped apart by the tripods. Where'd the Redeemer go? He didn't build a Redeemer?
I guess
no,
not.
He hasn't built the Redeemer.
What a bizarre choice. He gets the engineering facility, but no Redeemer. Avatar's getting stopped, and this has fallen apart for Drive. Rex tried to give him an angle back into the game with all of those donations, but the army has been evaporated. That stasis shield locking down half of the army, and Drive calls the GG. It's a 3-3-3.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to have a go in a really equal way, I mean, you've got your wish here. It's a 3-3-3. Unfortunately for Drive, he will not be the first player to 4 wins. He will not be in this next game, but wow, Rex played really well, and he's showing his screen is quite powerful.
The decider of who takes the 4th win will be here on Smashed Town, USA. In the north, as the Cyan Traveler 59, can he reclaim his lead? This is Futurama.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, as also Traveler 59, he's blue, and he is Rex. If it's as good a Trav Mirror as we had last time, we'll be in for a treat. And look at this from Futurama. Double portal, double descent, and this time Rex is the player that hasn't gone for any disintegrators.
He is going to get the scout and be able to, he will know that his opponent has gone for this, so at least he's not getting caught unawares. But I mean, this is a pretty small map. It's pretty easy to scout your opponent, and especially with Scren. So I'm excited to see how they decide to play this one out in terms of getting another Traveler mirror match. But it's looking pretty normal from the Rex side of things.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he's going to deal with this. It's 5 descents on the left-hand side, 6 on the right. So it is a massive, massive investment from Futurama. Now, he's obviously going to try and snipe both spikes. And... Ooh. Wow.
Or is he just going to go for the Harvesters? Because on the right, he's trying to scare away those Gunwalkers. On the left, he's hoping to clean up that Tib Spike. And okay, no, he backs off. Yeah, he's going Tib Spikes both locations, but the Gunwalkers are keeping him on the run. Futurama, he was hoping for a quick win on the eco front by killing Tib Spikes, and he's just going to get pushed around.
This has actually been really well handled by Rex. 3 Gunwalkers pushing the Disintegrators away. He's actually going to pull himself ahead in the game if he's able to just hold him off. I mean, it's going to be annoying. The Disintegrators are always going to be there, just picking and being annoying, but this Gunwalker, will it go down? No, he gets scared away again, but now the Descents on the north side are going to move into that Tib Spike. He should get that Tib Spike now.
Eventually, it feels like he will take down these Tib Spikes. It's just going to take him a little while to get both of them. First one does fall. He's going to try and rush the Gunwalker. He will not get it. The other Tib Spike did get abandoned because Futurama is trying to rush down these Gunwalkers one by one. He's got 2 out of the 3. He's now going for the Harvester as it's unloading. All 3 of those Gunwalkers go down. 1 Harvester gets eliminated. And finally, Futurama finds some damage. He won't find much more than that. Oh my gosh, he might actually get the second Harvester. Oh, right at the end, he gets it! Oh my gosh.
He's suddenly ahead. He's ahead.
He invested
It looks so good for Rex.
much into that, and he took so long for it to pay off. It looked like Rex had held it off, and it was just going to be too awkward. But Futurama does it, and Rex, he goes for the blue Tiberium.
Rex is gone. Well, screw you. If going for it with my fourth isn't enough, I'll go with my third as well.
Just double Harvester. I mean, when you're in this weird position, I guess why not?
It's actually not a bad idea. He knows that, I mean, it's highly unlikely that there's any more aggression that's going to hit him quickly enough for this to actually matter. So I don't mind it. I actually, in this situation, I give him a pass.
Oh my gosh. So Futurama kept around at least one of those portals. He's now pumping more descents. Or maybe he rebuilt that portal. But either way, he is pumping out more descents. He's sending them down the right side of the map. Fortunately, Rex does have a buzzer in the building, so he does spot this. He knows that the threat is there. He does still have one of his tib spikes. So he does... wait, this engineer... Rex just built an engineer. He's going to walk it the long way up the north side of the map. I don't know, maybe he'll be able to find something.
I don't know if he's either going to do one of two things. He's going to try and get the spike, or he's going to sit it there and hope that Futurama expands that way and try and capture the drone ship. Oh, this isn't good though from Rex. Both of those harvesters have gone back to the blue tib.
Ooh.
And there's nothing there.
He let them auto-harvest.
Yeah, no good. Is that assimilator going to get found by those disintegrators?
Oh,
no,
they go
it doesn't
wide.
look like it is.
That actually works out really well for Rex. Futurama, I think in this series he does have a winning score versus Rex. Actually, no, he might be kind of even on his score versus Rex. Now, now that I've said that, I don't actually know. But
yeah, no, I don't know either.
They do have 3 overall and 3 overall, so I guess even if they are not even or even versus each other, they are going to be deciding who takes the most cash in this part of the show match. Things have a little bit fizzled out. Futurama was trying to sneak by with some descents. It didn't quite work out the way he had hoped, and now he's going for a Warp Chasm. He's going for an Eradicator Hexapod. He's hoping to be saved by the Epic unit.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Rex has gone the Prodigy route, and now he's got the Hexapod on the way. And Futurama went Hexapod first, and is now probably going to go for that Prodigy. He is building some Shock Troopers first to garrison the Hexapod. But after that, I imagine we will see the Prodigy. This assimilator may eventually get to that tip spike. The disintegrators are running to stop it.
Not fast enough.
Too slow.
Shock Troopers kind of getting cut down by that Gunwalker. Eventually, the Gunwalker does go down. Rex and Futurama, after all of this game, all of the trades back and forth, they just sort of end up with Gunwalker armies on both sides, pew-pew-pewing each other in the middle of the map.
The most awkward fight in Kane's Wrath. What?
Did you see that Harvester? Rex accidentally sent a Harvester into the base of Futurama, and Futurama's Eradicator just killed it off. I think it was sent back to the blue Tiberium and then, like, auto-harvested to the nearest field, which happened to be Futurama's field.
Oh, no.
That
Didn't have
was...
anything to do with the Prodigy. Now, the Prodigy's dead. There's a heroic buzzer, so he has lost his Prodigy, Rex.
Ooh.
No, he's got another one back. So he's obviously lost it and rebuilt it. Maybe that Harvester was area mind controlled.
Oh yes, it might have been an area mind control. That is something. At any rate, things are shaping up. Both players have a Prodigy. Both players have an Eradicator Hexapod. The middle of the map has been licked clean, and well, the expansion is going to be coming up from Futurama. He's going to the north. Rex still has his MCV in his base. Prodigy and the Eradicator Hexapod are there as well. And these guys are...
He's not gone for the Prodigy in the Hex. Actually, neither player have gone for the Prodigy in the Hex. So, interesting choices there. Corruptors and Hex. It's going to be an awkward fight.
Futurama actually teleports his MCV back down to the south. He loses his Prodigy. There's going to be the Buzzer Swarm support power getting called in. And Futurama goes to the north and then changes his mind and goes to the south instead. Okay.
It's very
I don't even know.
I mean, you know what's You know what's funny? Rex can actually probably keep up in economy, even though he hasn't moved yet, because he can teleport his harvesters back. So he's got 3 harvesters at the north side. He can mine them full of tib, and if he formation moves them, he should be able to teleport all 3 of them back at the same time.
MCV gets grabbed! Rex hits Futurama's MCV in the south, and that's going to be a sell immediately. Rex gets some nice cash back. Futurama has the Eradicator Hexapod in the middle of the map. He's trying to bully Rex out of here, but I don't know how this could work out for Futurama.
Oh, now he's getting rear armor. Is his Prodigy going to be able to come? He doesn't have... Does he have a Prodigy back out? I don't know. Rex has grabbed the other tip spike as well. He has 3 tip spikes. He grabbed the engineer from the MC. Oh, it gets... There we go. The Hexapod does get teleported. This is actually massive for Rex. Rex has 3 spikes. That's actually massive. Prodigy goes down again. The Gunwalkers from Futurama just walked in and killed the Prodigy from Rex. But
Cultist
this is
now on the field, and I don't even know. This game feels like both players are half asleep at the wheel and just crashing into each other time and time again.
This is just Trav Mirrors in a nutshell.
That rear armor you mentioned, absolutely massive, the amount of damage that Futurama's Hexapod has taken. Rex is still here. I think Area Mind Control just came in and killed off a bunch of Corruptors, so that does kind of slow down some of the healing of Rex in a future fight, but right now things are so split. No MCV, no Prodigy now for Futurama. He just has the Eradicator Hexapod.
Yeah, and now he's actually getting units capped straight out of his War Factory, and then Futurama quits.
But
Rex takes the lead.
2 drunk drivers just slamming into mailboxes as they go down the road, hurling insults at each other, and Rex, yeah, I mean, I guess he earned it. The tib spike captures, the MCV steal, the killing of your opponent's Eradicator.
That was the telling blow.
Rex doesn't expand and still ends up with the income advantage because he gets that MCV seal. What in the world? What a game.
Yeah, I mean, Trav Mirrors, that's just what you get. But I have a feeling Drive will be back next game. Game number 11. I don't think we will see another Trav Mirror there.
And the backbreaker takes us to Pipeline Nightmares. This is where one player either wins it all or we get sent to another potential 3-way tie. In the north, playing as the orange, currently leading this show match, this is Rex.
And on the south side, it is Drive as the Nod, green Nod. And if he does win this, it'll be 4 apiece between him and Rex, and then Futurama will have it all on his shoulders to win the last game, and that would see us with a 3-way tie. But we're not in the last game yet. We got to focus on this game. And Pipeline Nightmares.
It's a bit different.
It's actually it's quite a fun map though. I've played it quite often. It's actually one of my favorite maps.
Really?
It sort of plays like Highlands. Because it's got the same amount of tib. You got the 2 green fields, you got the big contested field in the middle, and then you've got a blue field each. Obviously only 1 spike, but, you know.
Overall,
there's
pretty
similarities
similar.
there.
The natural expansion does kind of feel a little bit safer, maybe, but it's kind of a weird setup the way that you expand out to the left, which is pretty close to your main. And then it's almost like a closer version of Rift, but turned. But
I mean that's another way to look at it. Yeah,
your main and your natural are so close together, and then the third is so far away.
Yes, it is a trek to the third. Absolutely.
No shenanigans this time. I didn't spot an operations center from Drive, which we have seen from him a couple of games in a row.
No, completely normal. He's gone for that buggy scout. Seeker Tank's coming out for Rex now, trying to shut down that buggy. He should be able to get away. Oh my god, what's he doing? He might lose it now. If he gets into heavy damage mode, he actually can't outrun the Seekers, and now that buggy will go down.
Bye-bye. So
that's a bit of an unnecessary loss.
They both walk over to their natural, things are looking extremely similar between the two players. We'll see how they go for that blue Tiberium, considering that unlike Highlands, where you can go for the blue Tiberium and then you have a very short walk to your natural expansion, this is the exact opposite of that. Both players are forced to expand away from the blue Tiberium. So that blue Tiberium closest refinery is your main base.
Yeah, it does have a bit of a different vibe in that sense. These Seeker tanks aren't even going to engage here. They're going to see one rocket squad and say, we can't deal with that. We're out of here.
So that's just too much.
Yeah, and one portal, yes, but makes an assimilator, and he's going to go look to take that spike. Now, he does make a second one. I wonder, there's so many options here. He could go for the Emp spike, he could go for a tower.
Yeah, I feel like the defensive tower is a good move. A couple of bikes going to be rushing into the main base of Rex. He's going to be able to jump on one harvester. This is one harvester guaranteed killed. Second harvester, okay, the Seeker tanks are coming in. I was like, there's only one Gunwalker. But this second harvester is going to go down unless he doesn't die. But no, two harvesters for 2 bikes. Gets out, might lose a third on exit. A third bike does go down. Tags another harvester, though. So Rex taking 2 harvesters and a little bit of damage on a third harvester.
That was really bad for Rex. I mean, what, you got 2 or 3 bikes for 2 harvesters, one of them filled with Tiberium? That's a devastating blow this early in the game. It looks like he's going for his fast tech build again as well. And that's going to hurt him because a big part of this build is that you want to have a good stash of money once that tier 3 hits, but now he's going to have to spend a bit of it.
He is down to 3,500. Having the extra tib spike is nice, especially as the game goes on, but low power mode, being forced to build those extra power plants instead of spending that time building another refinery. You know, Rex, he's been unsettled. He's had a wrench thrown into the works.
Yeah, definitely a good start here for Drive, but it's what the follow-up is now. He's got to make a decision now. Does he go into a spam-style game or a tech-style game? And, I mean, there is a tier 2 down, and Dozer Blades is on the way, and it looks like that building is too slow to be a war factory, so I think we're going to see the tier 3 come down for Drive here as well.
All right, Drive potentially going for those laser capacitor upgraded Scorpion tanks. This has worked out reasonably well for him in the past, although some of those games were against Futurama. A couple of Seeker tanks are going to be getting caught in the middle. Drive really wanted to catch that harvester at the blue Tiberium, but he won't quite be fast enough to get it. He might get it as it transfers. There is a gravity stabilizer out on the field. There is now a stasis as well, so Rex has a couple of things in his back pocket.
Blue harvester. Oh no, the Seekers turn around. He probably could have got that, but Rex not paying attention. Black Hand Squad also taking out this defensive tower, which is going to claim a Scorpion tank. It's probably killed a few more as well that we just haven't seen, but the game is sort of plateauing here. I feel like Drive is giving Rex a little bit too much time here.
It was after that first burst of damage, it kind of slowed down. We do have a second. What is it with the bikes coming in from the right side? Rex is completely blind over there. He just has no sense that the harvester blinks away.
Good teleport.
Nicely done there, but that does still leave 2 harvesters on this main field, and Rex is going to get a couple of bikes on exit, but again, trading a couple of bikes for these harvesters, Drive is going to be happy to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, again, another really good trade there. He's going to take out the Tib Spike as well, so he's going to hurt the eco in every way he can. Redeemer about 50% of the way done as well. So it's going to be Laser Scorps and Redeemer for Drive.
Okay. Drive doesn't spot it, but that drone ship is dangerously close to these Scorpions. He potentially could have delayed that drone ship from deploying. We do have tripods with shields. We do have a mastermind nearby, so Rex is not going to be giving up this position, but this third field could be crucial to Rex regaining control of this game. If he can deny Drive from this, he might be able to kind of stabilize. Drive is long-distance mining Rex's blue. There's a harvester going for the farthest field.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I mean, at this stage, you do typically have a couple of extra harvesters if you're not on a third field, so may as well.
Send it over there, steal it from your opponent. He's got stealth harvesters as well, so he can do it relatively safely. All right, MCVs are both in the middle of the map. We heard the Redeemer audio cue a moment ago, but the Warp Chasm is now online, so the timer has started. Drive has the Epic Unit advantage, but that won't last forever.
It's going to come down to a stasis here, I feel like. Again, it typically does with these screen games, but the stasis is going to be so important here. But this is a really good concave from Drive to start pouncing on these Scorpions. Emp buggies are trying to get in range, but then none of them blast. No Emps get off. And he's sort of just single filing in now. This is a mess of a fight. Oh, he tries to use the phase, but the Rage Gen had gone off, so some of the tripods didn't get affected by the phase. And there's the Emp. Stasis comes down.
This is going to be the delay of that Eradicator Hexapod. It was so close to just firing off and ending this game for Rex, but he keeps himself alive with that tripod. The EMP almost delays that, but the stasis is too much, and the Eradicator will emerge right as all of these Scorpions come back online. They might be able to just burn down this Eradicator. It's got no support.
The Hex is going to last long. Emp comes off as well. This is brilliant by Drive,
Perfect. It's like a full surround.
Yeah, that's really nice by Drive. Another Emp as well, just to finish it off.
That stasis can delay things, but in this case, Rex just didn't have the army. So as soon as those Scorps came back online, it was lights out. And what looked like an interesting start to a game, or what might have been an explosive late game, Rex just didn't have enough at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, that was just the constant bike attacks finally took their toll. And you can see that in the resources as well. But you know what? Drive has now put us in a situation where if he loses the next game to Futurama, we will see 4-4-4. Rex is done. We've seen the last of Rex in these games. But game number 12, Drive and Futurama. Will Futurama bring it to 4 apiece, or will Drive get that 5th win and claim the show match for himself?
And that takes us to game number 12, and Tournament Airstrip will be the battleground to see out this series. Will the final map score be a 3-4-5, or will it be a 4-4-4? It's all up to this man on the left side, playing Cyan, playing GDI. This is Futurama!
And on the right-hand side, he is the man that can take it all for himself with a 5th win here. He's purple and he's Nod. It is Drive. Now, Tournament Airstrip is actually probably one of my favourite maps. I really do enjoy this map, and we can see that that spike in the middle of the map is going to be taken by Futurama. So he's going to get himself a little bit of an early income boost.
If that one militant on the south side somehow managed to like sneak its way up and kill that engineer, it would be the greatest stuff up in the history of this show match. But nope, you're right. He will get that in tip spike. So 2 spikes to Futurama. He is feeling good going into this. You mentioned in the middle, in between the games, Futurama was the first player to get 3 wins. He got it almost right out of the gate, and then he hasn't gotten a win since. The other 2 players have clawed their way back from their respective 1 and 2 wins to be 4 wins each. And now it's up to Futurama to finally break this recent streak of just being at 3 wins. Yeah, and I mean, maybe he's, it's interesting because momentum in series is always a thing, but it's not, the momentum is a bit different here because you're playing a different player quite regularly. So does Futurama feel the pressure as much because he's not even played every game since then, and he hasn't even played versus Drive in every game since then, so he may not feel as much under pressure as he may have if it was just versus one player. So I still think he'll be at the top of his game for this final match. And if there's anyone that he is going to feel comfortable facing, anyone that he's going to... Oh, this blue Tiberium Harvester. Let's see if you are right. It transfers over to the blue immediately for Futurama. It's going to get tagged by these buggies. If Futurama loses, that's the reason why.
4th Harvester again. But this is a bit different because I think the other times were with Scrin. This is the first time we've seen a non-Scrin faction do it. So maybe you just can't do it with Scrin.
Yeah, this is perfect. No matter what happens, you get to claim to be a genius because either you're right when it comes to Scrin, and you just have like that caveat, or you're just right and the 4th Tiberian Blue Harvester is always going to lose you the game.
So this is the part of it that I really don't like, though, is that look at Futurama's main. He's got 4 Harvesters. Now, I know he's built a few Pit Bulls and stuff, so yes, but you need to build the Pit Bulls because you need to defend the Harvester. So now he's got this really awkward situation where he actually doesn't have enough Harvesters and his expansion has just 1.
He's kind of not quite got the distribution that he would optimally like. It is going to be a Hand of Nod over at the expansion of Drive, but he's going to chase away the Pit Bulls with the Bike Buggy as well. So it's a combination effort from Drive to cut down these Pit Bull numbers, and he's actually trading out reasonably well, considering how many Pit Bulls were built by Futurama. He's going to maybe get one last Pit Bull on exit.
Well, from the builds that the two have done, we are building to a big epic showdown because they have gone full economy, both players. So this could be a big epic fight to finish off this show match. Tier 2 down for Drive, and now
Future has it as well.
War Factory.
Ooh, so once again, a big thanks to Shanks for donating the cash to this prize pool. Rex has claimed $32 of the 96 that was up for grabs. Drive has claimed $32 as well, and it's now up to see if Futurama also gets 32, if he gets 24, and Drive gets 40. But once again, big thanks to Shanks. Always fun to see players come up, or see people come up with, you know, a little bit of a different format. We don't get a lot of King of the Hill. Always nice to see it every once in a while.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice format, and it's worked out really well here, hasn't it? Because no one player has run away with it. All players have got a good amount of wins. And, I mean, these 3 are very evenly matched. I mean, we've seen Drive and Futurama over the years lately, and now Rex has come in and proven that he can tango with them too.
He's trading evenly. It would have been really unfortunate if Rex just got completely dropped and then it was just like, you know, Drive and Futurama having good games like they always do, and then Rex just getting dumpstered by the two of them. So yeah, fortunately, we haven't seen that. We get to finish off with a lovely GDI versus Nod. We got Hammerheads, so it's not Orcas. You've been wanting to see the Orcas all series long, and we just have not had them. We're into Marv territory as well on the Futurama side of the map. Drive, on the other hand, he's gone for an extra War Factory. He's gone for Tier 3, but he packs up his MCV, and he's heading for that 3rd instead of heading for the Epic unit.
Interesting choice. I actually don't know about that. I feel like, I mean, he's got to know that Futurama's going to go for a Marv, so you kind of need to counteract that in some way, unless he wants to go for Emp coils and try and kill it with Emp and Scorpion tanks, but
Harvester in the north does get picked. Drive finds the pick off and gets a kill. Not the end of the world to kill one Harvester, but it is nice to have that little bit of denial.
Laser capacitor, I imagine that's laser capacitors, is about 3/4 of the way done. And again, I'm not sure with these hammerheads. It's just these hammerheads, man. He's built them. Both games he's been GDI, he's built them, and he hasn't done anything with them. I'm just not quite sure why he builds them. It just feels a bit unnecessary. But maybe they could be good versus Scorpion tanks here.
Maybe these will be the one time where it actually comes through for a big win. We got Venoms, we got Scorpion tanks on the north side. The Bike Buggy gets pushed away by the Predator tanks on the south side, and these Venoms are hunting the Hammerheads. The first Juggernaut does pop on out, but Laser Capacitors finishes up just in time. The AA battery trading against those Venoms, but there's too many Scorpion tanks for one Hammerhead to quickly annihilate. The Juggernaut goes down, and Drive gets the kill in the main base of Futurama, but Futurama has the Marv on the front line, taking a bit of damage. I think this is just going to kind of bleed out for Drive in the main of Futurama.
Yeah, but the good amount of damage has been done. If you can get this second Juggernaut, that'd be amazing. Predator tanks and rocket squads are going to come in to finish the job. But again, those hammerheads, he lost 6 hammerheads there. Just to, like, a handful of Venoms. I mean, again, the hammerheads did clean up the Scorpion tanks in the end, but how much damage was done before that? Was it worth the money invested? We'll have to wait and see.
Drive feeling like he is in control of this game. Futurama was faster to the middle. Futurama was faster to the Epic unit, but Drive has done more of the damage where
terrible.
It matters.
You can't engage laser buggies with Venoms, with hammerheads. That's a terrible... And there's Venoms there as well, so he's just going to lose them. He's just throwing away these hammerheads, and they're not cheap, man. $1,500 per hammerhead. That's a lot of money.
Scan comes in. I assume we do have tier 4 at some point. The one-clicks are the only thing that Drive hasn't got. He's got avatars, he's got Venoms, he's got Bike, Buggy, and a Redeemer, but the tier 4 one-clicks are the one thing we're missing. Now, this is GDI. We can still see an extremely efficient engagement. If these Juggernauts go unpunished, if they're allowed to just wail away at the army, Futurama can still bring it back. He can still find his way in.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting final fight here, and the Shockwave is available. The Space Uplink Command has been constructed. Drive doesn't have a massive fighting force right now. He is starting to build Spectres, which is obviously a really good choice. He's also got some Vertigo bombers, so it could come down to, does Futurama survive those Vertigos and then the Spectre shells, because that's a lot of DPS that they can drop very quickly.
Futurama doesn't want to wait around to find out what will happen. He's ready to end the game. They've both got about $3 grand in the bank, hovering around that amount, so the one-clicks can come in for both sides. Shockwave Artillery going to be firing off, or an Orchestra getting called in. There's the Shockwave Artillery. Rage so far away, as you mentioned, and it does catch that Redeemer, but there just isn't very much DPS on the Redeemer right now. Juggernaut's trying to get into range. Predator tanks are trading out against militants, but the EMPs, will they be money for Drive? Futurama trying to end this Redeemer. The Spectres trading shots with those Juggernauts. The Redeemer finally goes down. The Juggernauts have found their marks, and Futurama, has he done it?
It's looking good, it's looking really good, but there's actually a heroic Venom there, so something you don't see every day, and to be fair, there isn't a lot to deal with this aircraft. He can drop AA batteries on the front line. There's hammerheads. Oh my god, hammerheads again. I'm not even going to bring up the hammerheads. Vertigo, but he does have 4 Vertigo bombers, so he can continue to bomb this army. Maybe the Vertigo bombers can get him back in this game. Avatar comes out. That'll just be popped straight away. The MCV is almost down as well. Ooh. Here come the Vertigo bombers. Can he get the Marv? No, he doesn't quite have enough.
One more Vertigo almost maybe would have done it, but that Avatar, as you mentioned, getting immediately deleted, and it's the 4-4-4, the perfect score, as Futurama fumbles, but gets it through in the end. The Juggernauts, the Marv, the EMP ended Drive's army.
And there we go. I mean, some people, if you're a fan of Drive or a fan of Futurama, you may have not been happy to see it go this way, but as a neutral, you've got to be happy with a 4-4-4.
Everybody played well, everybody made some mistakes, and it just sort of worked out in the end, a nice, even distribution. It felt like we had some really stellar matches and some not-so-great matches, which is typical of life.
It's expected.
Not everybody is absolutely on their A-game every possible second. And yeah, it comes out even in the end. Yeah,
so again, we've got to say it, a massive thank you to Shanks for organising this for us. And thank you to the players for the content. It has been fantastic to watch. And yeah, thank you, Cybert, for having me come on and join the cast.
And of course, if you guys haven't checked out Dune Tiger, go ahead and check out his channel and his stream. Always fun to have you on, Dune, and that will do it for this series, for this show match. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Cybert signing out.